one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white outs. We gon' bump this shit real deep into the night hours. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zola? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was.
It breaks my heart. They ain't believe in us. God did. Yo, what is up? Yo, you know what? I was thinking to myself earlier today. Before I got on, I said to myself, you know how I should start the episode? I should just start off by saying a crazy, like I should curse real loud. And then I forgot. So, you know, it is what it is. But how is everybody doing today? Yo, tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? Listen, I'm not even going to take too long getting into it. We finna do the AFC division winners for each division. And we starting off with the AFC. I'll do a separate video for the NFC. You dig what I'm saying? We're going to get real deep into this thing, all right? Really getting deep into that thing tonight, all right? Really getting deep into that thing. I'm talking about bare ass. We getting it. All right, listen, bro. Calm down. Just understand I'm going to be thorough, all right? Hey, what y'all been listening to lately, bro? Jumped off the same porch I used to wait for my dad, hoping nobody could see through the mask. So trying to forget that is a difficult task. Can't follow in his footsteps because we on two different paths. Damn, man, I can't believe that you passed. Love your people while they hear the streets taking a fast. Water off and I can't even get my baby a bath. I got 15 minutes of fame, so I'm making it last. I used to eat the ramen noodles out the butter bowl. But listen, bro, y'all got to go check out that picking cherries, yo. They use crates for entertainment. Moms will hold up the bed. Ain't got to tell you why I cut you off. You know what you said. And if you focus on your past, then you won't get ahead. They found DeAndre with a hole in his head. Bro. Just go check it out, yo. Rayvon picking cherries. Y'all can go check out his freestyle. Just go check out his whole, just go listen to a whole bunch of Rayvon. Because he got a whole bunch of fire ass tracks. The only reason I continuously talk about picking cherries is because you got certain tracks that make you feel a certain type of way, right? And so I would say back growing up, one of the songs that was just like ingrained in my head was a song by Beanie Siegel. What's the name of that shit? I Can Feel It in the Air. I can feel it in the air. If you ain't never heard that, that's one of the illest hip-hop beats that I never heard, bro. I love that track, bro. That's one of my favorite tracks, yo. I'm not even a big Beanie guy, but I love that track. That's kind of what this shit kind of give me vibes with. So, yo, go check out both of them tracks, actually. But listen. We finna get into this. Let's start off with the AFC West, the big division. You know what? Actually, no. We're going to start off with the AFC South. I changed my mind. AFC South. Yo. We got the Jags. We got the Colts. We got the Titans. And we got the Texans. Texans-Titans. Funny thing, rolls off like that. So, I do think this will probably be the weakest division in all of the AFC because most of these other divisions is strong. Most of these other divisions got probably 2 or 3 great teams in it. Obviously, one of them have 4 teams we imagine will be great. But specifically, looking at the AFC South. So I think most people, I haven't looked at the predictions yet for these divisions. And I also haven't watched a lot of videos, if any, about anybody predicting these divisions. Excuse me. So, I think most people will probably have the Colts winning this division. Or the Titans. The Titans is a team. The Titans or the Colts is the 2 teams that I think most people would probably have. But I think the Jags are going to win this division this year. So let's get into it. So I don't think the Titans are going to. I think the Titans might end up finishing last in this division. While I think Davis Mills did a good job just being thrown in there out of nowhere, I think right now the Texans are a team in flux. This ain't really a great team. They don't really have a great defense. Don't really have a great offense. Lovie Smith is a good stopgap coach, but, I mean, they done stopgap coached 2 years in a row. So I really think the Texans is a franchise that's just not a good team right now. And while Davis Mills was able to do what he did last year, I think that was because the only reason they didn't finish last in the division was for the simple fact the Jaguars' unique situation. But I don't think any of the teams in this division are going to have a shit show going on at the head coaching position that trickles down throughout the entire organization. So I think this year is actually going to be the year that the Texans finish in last place. Coming in third place in the division, I think it's going to be the Colts. I don't actually think the Colts are as good as everybody else talk about the Colts. I love Shaquille Griffin. I love Shaquille Leonard. I love DeForest Buckner. I love Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor. I got to see him do that shit again for another year. They have a good team. And I think Matt Ryan is being a bit overrated. While I do think Matt Ryan will be better for them than Carson Wentz was, because you basically, some point during the season, you said, okay, we just got to stop letting Carson throw the ball and we just going to try to run it to death. I don't think you'll end up doing that with Matt, but I don't think Matt Ryan got a better arm than Carson Wentz either. Like, to me, Matt Ryan has not been good the last couple years. Dead ass. I understand people saying, oh, it's the, no talent over there with the Falcons no more. Well, for one, it's very, it's strange how his numbers started to take a dip when he no longer was surrounded by a bunch of all-pro, Pro Bowl style receivers and whatnot, running backs, linemen. But if you didn't think that the Falcons had a ton of talent last year, which I would make an argument that the Falcons talent group right now at receiving and whatnot is better than what the Colts have. The Colts just have the better all-around weapon because they have Jonathan Taylor, who was the better player out of any. But I would take Kyle Pitts over Jonathan Taylor just because I would want a tight end over a running back because the value of a running back in the NFL. However, I look at what he had with the Falcons and I'm looking at what he got with, the Colts. Sure, you got Jonathan Taylor, and I said Jonathan Taylor was the better of the offensive players from those two teams last year, so I guess that would be an upgrade, but I just don't think, because I don't think Matt Ryan can win games with his arm, really. I don't think he can put a team on his back. And because this division might be the weakest in the AFC, that don't mean that it's weak enough for him to climb out of this, because he could have finished higher in that division he was in the last couple years, and he didn't. I mean, all they had was Tampa. Sure, they got Drew Brees too, but how you become a little dude once two big dogs come to the division? I mean, one been there and was aging out, and then you got the biggest of big dogs in Tom the GOAT Brady, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't see the Falcons' offense being what people think it is. Yeah, they might be great offensively as far as running the ball again because of Jonathan Taylor, but I don't think this offense is going to be like some prolific offense that can. They won't be good enough, in my opinion, to compete against the great teams in the AFC. They're going to have to pray that their defense can come out again this year and have another great year, even though I don't really think they have a great secondary either. I like different players in their secondary. Like, I like Moore or Kenny. It's Kenny Moore, right? The second. I believe that's one of their cornerbacks. I love him. I told you all the different type of players I like. But I still don't think they have a great secondary. I think their secondary can be had. I don't think their pass rush is as good as some other teams' pass rush going to be this year. So it's a lot of and they struggle stopping the run at times. So, and one of the reasons I think I don't really care too much about them run stats when it comes to stopping the run. And the only reason I'm saying, it's not that I don't care about those stats. To me, those stats mean a little bit less because it's not a lot of great running backs in the NFL. And most teams are not playing through the run game. Like the Bills rarely run the ball. The Chiefs rarely run the ball. Like, you got the Browns, the Ravens, the Jets, because they have a coach that's a defensive-minded coach. So defensive-minded coaches like to ground and pound, like we still in that day and age. But I don't really care too much for those. I care about how many touchdowns do you give up and how many air yards and that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the stuff that matter more so nowadays than the stop and the run shit. I just don't think the run game is as prevalent. So that's why I have the Colts finishing in third in the division. In second in the division, I think is going to finish with the Titans, because I just think the Titans are a better all-around team than the Colts, period. I like the Colts. For one, the Titans have a better defense to me. Like, I like the weapons they have on the front line. I like the I think I like both of their corners, actually. I love the safety. I cannot remember. I know Casey is one of the guys on their line. It's another dude that I'm forgetting his name right now. But the Tennessee Titans got some dogs. You probably haven't heard of some of the guys on their team, but they got dogs on their team. You don't accidentally get 9 sacks in a playoff game. I'm telling you. Go look at some of these dudes. They got Pro Bowlers and all pros littered throughout this defense. Now, I won't say all that, but they got a lot of great players on their defense. I'm telling you. And on top of that, I said I don't think the run game is prevalent, right? Well, let me go ahead and tell you my exception. Derrick Henry is the exception. That motherfucker done carried his team the last couple years. I have no reason to believe. The Tennessee Titans got to the playoffs this year because off the back of what Henry was doing before he got hurt, bro. Like, I'm not here to listen to nobody try to debate with me who the best running back is, the value of a running back, because I probably agree with you with the value of a running back. But if you don't say Derrick Henry is the greatest right now and that he is the exception to those values of a running back, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, when we get to the playoffs, that can be a different story. But as far as the regular season go and carrying a team, Derrick Henry is him at the running back position. And so I believe not only do I like the defense more for the Titans, but I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. I don't know what it is he do with this team, but he get these dudes playing, and that's good enough for me, man. And I don't think Malik Willis will end up starting this year, because I don't think Tannehill will have a chance to be as bad to get benched, because Derrick Henry about to go off. I believe he restructured his contract, so this about to be the last year of his contract with the Titans. He'll be a free agent at the end of the season. Please come to Baltimore. But the Titans will finish in second in this division, in my opinion. In first place in the division, listen, this could be me going on a limb. I don't care. I got a lot of faith in Trevor Lawrence. We were supposed to see a great player last year. I don't care if he hadn't won a lot of games, but we never even got to see this dude progress because of how bad the situation was in Jacksonville. Now you bring over a head coach that's won a Super Bowl, that's managed a toxic organization or toxic turmoil going on throughout the organization. He know how to handle men. He can't be letting dudes make strides of secondary quarterbacks, but that's neither here nor there. But other than that, Doug Peterson is a massive upgrade. I would go as far as to say the biggest upgrade, one of the biggest upgrades in the offseason easily was Doug Peterson being hired by the Jags, because of who you got rid of. And because you got rid of who you got rid of, and that to me changes everything for this team. People think Christian Kirk got overpaid. To me, he's about to become the number one receiver for this team. People think Travis Etienne, however you pronounce his last name, he's healthy now. He will be good for them this year. They'll actually have a legitimate offense now. They'll know what they're doing when they go out there. They won't be trying to wing every damn thing. So I got a lot of faith in Jacksonville. Maybe too much. We'll see. But I got Jacksonville winning the AFC South. All right. And I'm going to take a quick intermission real fast. All right. AFC East. Wait a minute. Is this the fucking East? Yeah, it's the East. So you got the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets. This division, the last place won't be too tough for me. I think the Jets will finish in last in this division. Listen, I like Zach Wilson. I'm not too mad at that pick. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback or anything like that. Really haven't seen much to tell me that he's going to be great or not. But, yeah, I just don't think – I'm looking at the three teams in this division, and the three teams above the Jets. The only team that I could see, like, having a letdown season to the point where they would compete with the Jets for last place, I can't see none of these three teams doing that, to be honest with you. So I got the Jets in last, man. I think the defense will be better this year, just like it. I think it'll be good. But I just don't think the offense gonna really be that great, even if Joe Flacco start. Joe Flacco is a great, listen, I love Joe Flacco. He won Baltimore a Super Bowl, but Joe Flacco is what he is right now. It's not a dude who can put a team on his back at this point in time in his career. So I think the Jets will finish in 4th place in this division. This was the one that was tough for me because I think the Bills going to win the division. So I'll go ahead and talk about the Bills real quick. I think Buffalo's going to me, I don't even think necessarily Buffalo has the best. Nah, I do think they had the best defense, actually. I think Buffalo's defense going to be great again this year. I think the offense going to be great again this year also. I don't know if the run game does anything. It haven't done much in the last couple years. But what I do know is Allen and Diggs is going to get it going. And the defense will be great once again. So when you add a Super Bowl champion, a vet like Von Miller, a Hall of Fame player, first ballot, that means something. And he's still got a lot in the tank. Now, my only concern with Buffalo would be who is the other pass rusher that makes it easier for Von Miller. Because I like Ed Oliver, but it's no real other pass rusher on the team that's going to take too much pressure off of Von. You're not really matching up Von with somebody like an Aaron Donald or the combos that you got for these other teams we'll talk about in a couple. But I do love the addition of Von Miller. And I do think because Josh Allen, to me, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, I can't bet against them three. And they just keep getting better. So, to me, this could be the year Josh Allen really get over that hump. Because last year, the season wasn't as great, and the schedule wasn't as they had some ducks in that season where it was, But either way, and they lost to the Jags. But the Bills on a mission. They'll finish in first in that division. Now, this is where it's hard because I didn't know who I wanted to put at third. I didn't know who I wanted to put at second because I love the additions of Miami. Cannot stand the whatever you want to call what New England did in the offseason. The biggest move they made was letting J.C. Jackson go. I was not a fan of anything really New England did in the offseason. So it's hard, bro, because obviously you want to trust Bill and all that shit. And it's a new coach for the Dolphins. And then it's who you want between Mac and Tua. And I don't really think they that far apart as far as quarterbacks, players. So it was a tough one, man. This a tough one. I wouldn't even be surprised if these two teams finish with similar records. I wouldn't. But I think the Patriots are going to finish third in this division. The reason I think that is because I just don't see, bro, this offensive coordinator nonsense, the lack of adding any real, or trading to get a talented guy. I just don't know. Matt going to have to be just real fucking great this year for this team, to me, to be a competent offense. If they try to do what they did last year, just run the ball, I think that's going to be, counterproductive for Mac Jones. And this is exactly why I say I wish Mac would go to a team that fucking prioritize making him better. Because I just don't think that Bill or the Patriots organization cares too much about making Mac better as much as they care about winning. And I think that could ultimately be a problem. And the reason I'm going to put the Dolphins at number 2 is because, bro, I just cannot overlook the additions they made. I like this team. I don't know how good the head coach will be, but I like this team. I really do. And I think Tua will be better this year. Tua was coming off of injuries and shit, yo. People forget that. And people keep thinking Tua trash or something. I don't get that part. I think he had a defensive head coach last year. He had an offensive coordinator who was brought in to be somebody else's offensive coordinator. And he did the best he could. Now he got a team that's invested in him, that's building around him. So I got a lot of faith in Tua, and I think the Dolphins going to be a better team. And I think they'll finish in second. I also think the Dolphins will make the play. No, I don't. Yes. We'll get to that one towards the end. But another quick intermission before I talk about the next division. Okay, intermission over. Let's get back to it, yo. I gotta tell y'all, yo, I had a massive headache, yo. I can't even explain to you how crazy a headache is. But I'm gonna tell you what the remedy was. I just smoked 2 fat ass blunts and I am on cloud 1 billion. So, yo, let's get into, y'all gotta go check out this dude. Funny, for one, y'all gotta go check out my brother's channel, Backyard Comedy. Go do that. That's mandatory. But go check out Funny Marco interview with Mozzie, bro. That shit had me in tears. Legitimate. I was in tears watching the end of that interview when it came to the sandwiches. But listening to Mozzie talk, bro, this motherfucker is just fire, bro. I fuck with that. That shit was heavy. But now we enter the AFC. So we got through the AFC East. We got through the AFC South. Now we are headed to the AFC North. The North. Baltimore. Bengals. Cincy. You got Pittsburgh. You got Cleveland. Now this will be one of the better divisions. It's already one of the better divisions. But it's going to be one. It's going to be on the level of the last division we're going to talk about when Deshaun Watson is able to play again. I know people don't like Deshaun. I understand you might not agree with the Browns signing him and all these other different type of things. But at the end of the day, if Deshaun Watson can be healthy and play for this team, he will make a difference for this team. Now, I don't think they have the weaponry that they had when they had Baker. I think that's just a product of, of football, basically. But I do think that they'll eventually get the pieces around Deshaun. Now it won't be easy because, doing what they did around Baker is one thing. Now you got to do this around Deshaun. So, and he cost way more than Baker was costing you because Baker was on a rookie contract, even though he was the first pick in the draft. So it wasn't like it was dead cheap, but it wasn't what it'll be with Deshaun Watson. So this year, it's tough, man, because I actually think the Steelers could finish in last place in this division. But just because Deshaun is going to sit out for 11 games, he got to miss 11 games, I'm going to say the Browns are going to finish in last place. I do think the Browns will end up beating the Panthers in week 1. I just want to throw that out there. But I do think because I think the Browns defense will be better this year if they healthy. I love not Deshaun Watson. I love the Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett duo. I think that is an underrated duo that don't get talked about enough because people seem to love disrespecting Jadeveon Clowney. I'm not going to get into that tirade like I usually do. Just understand, I think Cleveland's defense is going to be a great defense this year. However, I think Cleveland's offense, while I do believe, because a part of me want to believe that Kevin Stefanski can draw up an offense in which if Chubb and Kareem Hunt can stay healthy, yeah, fuck that. I'm going out on a limb. I think the 4th team in this division is going to be the Steelers. I don't trust any of the Steelers quarterbacks, period. As the season go on, I'm going to probably trust them even less. It's just the nature of having a rookie quarterback and a quarterback who was a bust at this point. I don't really want to say Trubisky was a bust, but it is what it is. He ain't the quarterback he was drafted to be. And maybe this situation will be better, but I don't think this offense is going to be any better for him than when he was in Chicago because this is a defensive team. I do love T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. They're going to be great. They're great every year. But I do think this year, and I like Najee Harris, but I don't think the Steelers' offense is that great. I don't really think the receiving position. I like Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I don't think that the offense is going to be as good as it compared to what I think Cleveland's will be. Because I think Cleveland will finish in 3rd, but that's because I think Cleveland will have a better defense. And I believe their offense will be more productive because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to be a problem. Because I think Nick Chubb is the 2nd best running back in the league behind Derrick Henry. I also think Kevin Stefanski, I know Kevin Stefanski is a better play caller than anybody in this division, really. He is the best play caller in this division. One of the best play callers in the NFL, in my opinion. He just don't get enough credit for it because he had Baker Mayfield the last couple years and still won a Coach of the Year and got this team to the playoffs. Everybody want to give Baker Mayfield that credit or Baker Midfield that credit for some reason. When Kevin Stefanski was as big a part, along with that defense and the running backs, of them getting there than Baker. But I digress. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to draw up an offense. I don't think they're going to go over 500, but I do think they could get to 500. No, matter of fact, I think they could possibly get. That's how much faith I have in Stefanski, the play calling, and the defense to last while Deshaun is. But now listen, when Deshaun get back, it's still going to be a struggle. I don't think Cleveland will make the playoffs this year. But I do not think that they're going to be a terrible team. Like, I think we're going to see the potential in Cleveland this year. So I got Cleveland finishing third. Now this next one was very interesting because you know I'm a Baltimore fan, so it's very easy for me to put Baltimore number one. And everybody be like, oh, he's biased, he's this, he's that. But that's exactly what I'm doing. Cincinnati is going to go to second. Now, I think Cincinnati is going to make the playoffs. I just want to preference that. I think Baltimore and Cincy are making the playoffs. My problem with Cincy is the defense. I know you had a great year last year, but I done told y'all this before. I take out your best year, I take out your worst year, and I try to figure out what it is in between there. Cincinnati's defense, I cannot trust that they're going to be a great defense this year, especially if Baltimore got a better offensive line. Dude's going to be healthy. You got the running backs back, Lamar back. People forget, in that game that Baltimore got blown out in, Lamar was doing his job. He couldn't continue to do what he was doing because the defense was so bad. The defense will be healthy this year. I do not think they'll have a field day against Baltimore like they did last year. You got Marcus Peters. You got Kyle Hamilton. You got Marcus Williams. You got Marlon Humphreys will no longer be out there on an island by himself. L.J. Fort, somebody who not a lot of people is talking about, he is back manning the middle for Baltimore. If this man can come back and be healthy and do what he was doing before he got healthy, Baltimore is a completely different team again. This will be one of the best top 5, top 4 defenses in the NFL. The only problem I see with Baltimore is the pass rush, which has been a problem for a while. They don't have pass rushes, bro, and it's crazy. I don't really trust the pass rushes for Cincy either, though. Like, some dudes had some good years last year. Nothing to really make me say, oh, I gotta, that's a Chandler Jones or something like that. So, what really make me propel Baltimore over Cincy, because I love Cincinnati's offense. I think Cincinnati is going to have one of the best offenses in the NFL again. When you have Boyd, Higgins, and I think, because I tweeted this on Twitter, I hate that Cincinnati went from A.J. Green to Jamar Chase. And I understand how great Boyd and Higgins are, but Jamar Chase is clearly a generational receiver. A.J. Green was a generational receiver. I saw what he did to Baltimore on a regular basis. I don't understand how the Steelers was they kryptonite for so long, but I saw what they did to us, to my squad. And A.J. Green was doing that with Andy Dalton. And I got a lot of respect for Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton ain't Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase got Burrow. I hate that that's what has transpired. And Baltimore in that time frame still has not found a number one receiver. People say, oh, people don't want to play with Lamar. They didn't have a number one receiver during the A.J. Green years, bro. Stop it. Lamar wasn't even playing yet. So that really bothers me. But with that being said, I think Cincinnati and Baltimore is actually, because this is the twist, you didn't even see this coming. I think these two teams are going to be separated by probably 1 or 2 games. Dead ass. I would not be shocked if Cincinnati, because I do believe, I have a shit ton of faith in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in that offense. And Joe Mixon, I love that offense. I'm not finna be biased and be like, oh yeah, that offense ain't gonna be. Nah, I believe they can replicate, even go better than what they did last year. This is a offense that if you can get these guys to stay together, you already see the relationship between Jamar and Joe Burrow. This might be the last year I pick Baltimore to finish in first place over this division. If Cincinnati can figure out how to, really get some defensive players over there that really impact. Like if they had got a Von Miller, this would have been the team I put in number one, and not just our division in the AFC North. I probably would have had them number one in the AFC because I believe in the offense of the Bengals. With everything that I said could have went right for them last year, I still believe in this offense. I think they will be better this year. I think they'll be more consistent this year also. They won't just rely on having 2 big games and then, go off the radar. Have a big game go off. No, I think they're going to be consistent all the way through. I really think this could enter Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne type scary for the Bengals. That's how much faith I have and how fearful I am at how great this offense is. Because if they can figure out how to pay everybody and keep them together, Jesus, this is going to be a dangerous team. And like I said, the only reason I'm putting Baltimore over them is because I think Baltimore will finish with at least 1 or 2 more wins. I think they'll split the season series. But Baltimore's defense, boy, every time my throat is hurting, bro, it's just easier to say Baltimore, even though I hate the way that's pronounced. But when you down here for so long, it's easy to start pronouncing it like. Actually, it's because of everybody I be around. Everybody I'm around pronounce it Baltimore. And so I done pronounced it Baltimore for so long. And so I be pronouncing it Baltimore sometimes. But that just sounds so ugly to me. Like, when I say Baltimore, it feel like I'm looking at the spelling in that. What is that font? I think it's Times New Roman. No, it's not Times New Roman. It's that other ugly-ass sharp font. That's what I think of every time. That's what play in my head every time I say Baltimore. That shit crazy to me. But the reason I got Baltimore finishing with just like a win or two above, because I do think the defense for Baltimore is going to be way better than the defense for Cincinnati. And now, the division that we've been waiting for. This is what we came to see. The AFC West. You got the revamped Raiders. You got the revamped Broncos. You got the revamped Dolphins. Not Dolphins. You got the revamped Chargers. Go Chargers. Go Chargers. You got the revamped Chargers. You got the big dog, Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, bro. What's up? So, this was the toughest division to pick. It was a tough division to pick. But it got a little bit easier as time was going on because I was sitting, I was marinating on it because I knew I was going to make this video for a while. That's why I was so irritated in the beginning when I was battling through that massive headache. But we good now. We here. Listen, I like Russ. I really do. But I don't think this thing going to kick off in the first year. I like some of the players they have defensively, but I don't think they have that game-changing player on defense yet. I think they'll play good collective defense, but they will take a step back, in my opinion, because naturally you lost the defensive coordinator or the defensive-minded guy in Van Joseph. So I think that's going to or Vic Fangio. So I think that's – you didn't think you was going to hear Van Joseph tonight. But in Vic Fangio, you lose him, so he was a defensive-minded guy. So I think your defense will take a step back anyways. Plus, you'll be playing a full year without Von Miller. So you don't – even though Bradley Chubb is – we think he good. He had a good year that year, but he's been hurt a lot since. So I don't know what to expect out of Bradley Chubb right now. I don't know how great or good or bad the secondary will be. All I know is they got Russ now. I could actually make an argument. It was better players on Seattle right now. I don't even think it's an argument. The receiving core was better in Seattle. What's wild to me is that Seattle's problem was not what was going. They should have fucking fired Pete Carroll. And I understand you don't want to fire a head coach. But when you have the quarterback, you have the receivers, you could go find a running back because of how that position is valued now. It made no sense to continue to go with this type of philosophy and get rid of your franchise guy. Unless Russ just did not want to be in Seattle, which I find it hard to believe. If you had told Russ, bro, we will fire Pete Carroll, revamp this entire offense, go get you an offensive-minded head coach, bring in a brilliant-minded offensive coordinator for him or backup to him, the days of defense is over. We are going full head first into offensive-minded team. It's hard for me to believe Russ would have still left that. But because it feel like Seattle chose to go with Pete Carroll's philosophy, his culture, and all that shit over the franchise quarterback, it felt like that's why this is what it is. And I do think Russ will be good in Denver. I just don't think this will be the year. So I got them finishing in last in the division. I don't even think they'll have a bad record. But I also don't think every team's going to make the playoffs in this division. Because for one, like I said, Baltimore and Cincinnati are going to make the playoffs. Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing record under Mike Tomlin, so they're going to be tough, period. So it's hard for me to see every team in this division making the playoffs. Even though only one team coming out of the AFC Only one team probably coming out of the AFC South. And the AFC East probably I think the Bills and the Dolphins could make the playoffs. The Dolphins gonna shock some motherfuckers this year. But in third place in this division, I got the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. Listen, I love Derek Carr. You know this. I speak very highly of Derek Carr very often. I think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the NFL right now. I think Justin Jefferson going to steal that crown this year, even possibly Jamar Chase, but we shall see. I just think they both do more. I'm not getting into that conversation right now, but I love Max Crosby being there, and then you add Chandler Jones. That's unbelievable. If he can stay healthy, these two motherfuckers going to go off this year. I like all that. And I think they're going to make the playoffs, because I think 3 teams will make the playoffs if that mathematically makes sense. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that makes sense. But the Raiders, I do think will make the playoffs. Now, if I have too many in, the one team that I would take out is the Dolphins, not the Raiders. The Raiders are making the playoffs. If I have to switch it to a 7-team thing, I'll check on that. But I think Derek Carr will be good, way better than he was, because I think it's something important about playing with your guy. Like, he's playing with his guy, just like Jamar Chase is playing with his guy and Joe Burrow's playing with his guy. This is the same thing to me. And they vets. So I think this will be a beautiful marriage. The only thing is, the reason I have them finishing third in the division, and I kind of gave them a bump because I think they have more talent, far more talent on their team. And you know what's crazy? I kind of want to put the Raiders at number 2. The only reason I didn't, because I actually like their defense more than I like the Charger defense. I have more faith that Chandler and Max will be a bigger problem than Bosa and Khalil, because Khalil done had an off year the last 2 years, and Bosa is hard for him to stay healthy. So I actually got more faith in the Raiders defense. The only reason I put the Raiders at number 3 under the Chargers, and it was for 2 specific reasons. I like the Chargers quarterback. I think I don't like him more than Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr is a guy. But I think he's a better quarterback. And he's going to be better, in my opinion. And I like the head coach more. Listen, I know everybody go crazy about Brandon Staley. I get it. He cost his team a playoff spot. Listen, if we really want to if you want to hate on Brandon Staley, hate on the man because the defense didn't look like it was supposed to, or it's more things of why this team didn't make it than Brandon Staley's coaching decisions. Did they play a part of it? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't 100% to 0 towards everything else. All right, so let's chill out with that for a second. However, I do like Brandon Staley. I think he's a good head coach. I think one of the biggest reasons they didn't make the playoffs last year was because of the defense was so bad. And I don't even think he really could have done much to make that defense any better than it already was, for the simple reason he didn't have anybody. Like, the man needed an offseason to be able to come in and get some of his guys to go get some talent to put on the roster, which he went out and did this offseason. And you get another season of Justin Herbert, and you get Keenan Allen. Now, Keenan Allen, obviously, it's another year. He's getting older, but still, he's one of the better receivers in the NFL. Austin Eckler is one of the better weapons in the NFL. I like the Chargers offense, and I think the defense will be way better this year, especially if you can get if you can get 12 games out of Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack at the same time on the field. This defense will be way better. And you got Derwin James back there. This will be a way better defense. But at the end of the day, the team that I have finishing first in this division is the team that has won this division the last couple years. The Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. I like all the additions of these other teams. I think that the defense for the Raiders could end up being the best defense in this division. I don't have a shit ton of faith in the Chiefs defense. I need to see Frank Clark have a bounce back year. Chris Jones have to stay healthy and have a bounce back year. The offensive line for the Chiefs has to have a strong year. The receiving core got to step it up, seeing as how you just lost Tyreek Hill. But the thing that I know will happen year in and year out, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, Bieniemy, and Travis Kelce. they gonna get him there. They gonna do what they had. Y'all thought it was all gloom and doom last year, and what they do, still won the division. Like, this team, this quarterback, this tight end, this coach, this coordinator, these motherfuckers is like a match made in heaven. That's why I don't mind them losing Tyreek Hill. Was that a loss? Absolutely. But because you have the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, and damn sure not the 8th best player, like, come on now, stop it. Dude is far high. This is a top 3 player in the NFL. Pat Mahomes is going to get him there. You can make an argument Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. It's no argument about Travis Kelce. He is him. He is the best tight end in football. Like, they don't have a great run game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire are going to have a bounce back year. But I truly believe if these two stay healthy, this team will still win this division. I even think they're going to end up making a trade at some point in time during the season to bring over a number 1 receiver. Because while they don't have one right now, I still think they'll get through it. But they're going to miss the explosive plays, I think. I think they will eventually make a trade at some point in time this season to bring over either a young up-and-coming star receiver, or they just going to trade and bring over a vet star receiver. I'm telling you, look out for it. But with that, I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. I'm going to be back tomorrow with the NFC division winners and predictions. Listen, man. Get you a circle of people who you real close with, you know what I'm saying, that you really trust and love them and ride with them. Get rich together. Get successful together, all right? That's what I want for y'all. But I appreciate y'all for joining me. I fuck with you. I love you. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Give my Dukes a hug and a kiss. Give Pops a hug and a kiss. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.